Harold and Maude is a 1970s cult classic about a young man named Harold and an 80-year-old widow, Maude, whom he befriends. The film was released during a time of rebellion in the United States and makes a political statement during the counterculture of the era. When initially viewing the film, it is easy to overlook the depth of the characters. A relationship forming between such a young man and an older woman now seems taboo and likely did at the time as well. Harold and Maude could fall under many genres. It's a love story, a tragedy, a political comedy, and a satirical art piece. We discover early on that they both seem to have a fascination with funerals, which ultimately leads to their first few meetings. We later discover that they attend the funerals for completely different reasons, yet manage to connect through those short interactions just the same. The characters' actions are peculiar and seemingly accidental, yet as we know, nothing in cinematography is an accident. There is a scene towards the beginning of the film where Maude can be seen in a crowd at a funeral holding a bright yellow umbrella, in contrast to the rest of the funeral goers' neutral-colored ones. This gives us some insight into the personality of Maude long before we get to know her. This device would be considered an artistically motivated one, and also serves the purpose of foreshadowing her actions to come. Other strategically planned glimpses include a brief moment when Harold breaks the third wall by looking directly into the lens of the camera. Unlike other films, this snap back into reality for the viewer only happens once, so it leaves us to question what the motivation behind this movement was. As the film progresses, there's a little more insight given to the motifs of Maude's character when the camera pans to Maude's wrists and a chain of numbers is revealed, indicating a possible connection to Maude and the Holocaust. This explains her outlook on life and her disregard for laws. In earlier scenes, Maude can be seen stealing cars and talking to law enforcement officers as if they hold no power over her whatsoever. Though much time could be spent analyzing Harold's motifs, Maude's may be more multifaceted than they appear. Brief instances with Maude foreshadow what is to come long before it ever happens. These aspects of the film portray how the narrative was very intentional, paying close attention to detail whether the viewer noticed it or not. There is a point in the film where she alludes to the fact that she is planning on dying that upon first viewing would not have made any sense. She says simply to Harold, "It's all going to be over Saturday." This seems to faze him, yet not enough for him to question her choice of words. The music of the film rolls in at whimsical times, adding to the playful effect of the scenes. Maude teaches Harold how to play the banjo when he has hit a low point, telling him that it is important for everyone to create music. This holds significance since at the end of the film he can be seen playing the banjo with the same whimsical spirit of the music from throughout the film. Harold's character was detached from the light and airy feel of the film, and he was for the most part a representation of teen angst and depression. When he plays the banjo in the final scene, we see a shift within him brought about by Maude herself. Harold's character development is reliant upon Maude's guidance and wisdom. During the scene where he has hit the previously discussed low point, they open up a discussion about his morbid fascination with death. Maude, quite unforgettably, offers him the notion that a lot of people enjoy being dead, but they're not dead really, they're just backing away from life. She tells him to reach out, take a chance, get hurt even, but play as well as you can. Maude helps Harold discover why life is worth living in this way, as well as by showing him different perspectives than his own that make life appear to be more cyclic than linear. There is a scene where they go out into a field and Maude explains the life cycle of living things, how they grow and die only for new ones to surface in their place. Yet none of the flowers are the same, they each have their own details that make them unique. Harold needs to hear this because his motifs thus far had been inspired by the idea that he was just one of many, a worthless life comparative to the sum of things.